Okay, I think everybody's ready. 1 second. David Friel's here, yes. David Friel and Paul Nick from the Ethics Commission are here this afternoon because this investigation initiated with them I guess, initiating and opening an investigation based on news reports on May 2nd of last year. And that investigation's been ongoing not only with them, but with our office, the Inspector General, the Highway Patrol, Bureau of Workers' Comp, Fraud Investigators Unit. That cover, I think, everybody who was involved in the inquiry. This morning, the Franklin County Grand Jury heard from investigators in the case and returned a 10-count indictment against Anthony Gutierrez. That includes theft in office, unauthorized use of property, soliciting or receiving improper compensation, prohibited election activities, filing a false statement with the Ethics Commission, and 3 counts of felony workers' compensation fraud. I can, in brief detail, talk about each of those counts, but as you know, now that this is a pending case, I'm limited in what I can say and comment on so as not to impair his presumption of innocence or his right to a jury trial. In which instance, as I think I have related to some of you individually, upon inquiry, we've been talking to Mr. Gutierrez and his attorney, Sam Amendolara, for some period of time, and I've talked to Mr. Amendolara since noontime today and did advise him this indictment was returned and faxed him a copy of it. His intention is, and it would be acceptable to us, he is going to surrender Mr. Gutierrez on Monday here in Franklin County at the courthouse, rather than me having Deputy Sheriffs in Mahoning or Warren County traipse around looking for Mr. Gutierrez. He is aware of all the charges. As I say, I faxed a copy to him. The theft in office count essentially relates to the use of state property, equipment, and employees to operate the MTV construction company while on state time. Counts 2 and 3 deal with the use of a computer system to electronically transmit to the BWC the MTV construction company workers' comp statements that were presented to the Bureau, 2 of which in counts 8 through 10, and I think it's counts 9 and 10, 2 of which were alleged to be false and inaccurate, but they were transmitted via the investigation that established the internet provider network used through the state server was state computer equipment being used to transmit his own personal MTV construction company reports that then are themselves alleged to be fraudulent. Count 4 in the indictment is soliciting a supplemental compensation. Both, I would say, counts 4 and 5, which also is supplemental compensation, and there are 2 ways of committing the same offense, and that deals with what has been reported as the condo up in the northwest part of Columbus, as well as a residence in Victorian Village, in which it is alleged that additional compensation was provided to Mr. Gutierrez through the Danforth, Ohio Campaign Committee and Leo Jennings, that additional compensation that was basically free rent, utilities, those kinds of things at the place of residency, that supplemental compensation was in addition to his state employment, and that it was improper. Count 6 is a case that was by stipulation referred to us by the Ohio Elections Commission. As you know, both Mr. Gutierrez and And in fact, I believe Mr. Dan still has pending in front of the Elections Commission some of these same issues. But Mr. Gutierrez agreed to have that voluntarily referred to us for consideration rather than having a hearing in front of the Elections Commission. And count 6 is an alleged conversion for personal use, things of value from the Dan for Ohio campaign fund. Count 7, and again, many of these things have been previously publicly reported. Count 7 is an alleged failure to include on the financial disclosure form that all public officials in certain categories have to file with the Ethics Commission. Failure to include certain information, namely sources of income in MTV Construction Company, namely the $5,000 loan, which was at least identified as a loan, the check from the Transition Corp for Marc Dann after his election. Loans have to be listed on the form filed with Mr. Friel, and that was also absent, as well as any interest in or income from MTV Construction. And then counts 8, 9, and 10 are the workers' comp fraud allegations, which essentially deal with understating employees for MTV Construction, therefore allegedly avoiding the payment of premiums with BWC in amounts that exceed $500, between $500 and $5,000, and that makes it the felony offense for which it's contained in those counts, all fifth-degree felonies. There are those 3 felonies, the 2 theft-related or property-related, the 3 property-related offenses are also felonies. The balance of the offenses, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, are first-degree misdemeanors. The felonies each carry a maximum penalty of up to a year in prison, and the misdemeanors carry up to a maximum of 6 months in jail.